plus. Caitlin Clark is now only 5 assists away from passing Alyssa Thomas for the most dimes in a single season. Even still, Tim Legler, I understand that as you were watching last night, you saw something that you were troubled by. What exactly is that?
Yes, Malik, it's how hard Caitlin Clark has to work for everything she does offensively. And I think when you have a weapon like this that is so different than any other player in the league in terms of how you have to extend defensively, the amount of communication it takes to know where she is, I'd like to see more stuff involving her off the ball. This is going to be post-split action 101. Very simple stuff. Throw the ball into the post, and the feeder goes and screens for another player. Golden State Warriors run this better than any team in the league. This is what I think they need to do more of. Now, this is the best attempt of the 3 examples right here, what I'm about to show you. But again, it's not great spacing. It's not great player positioning at the start of it. Ideally, when you run post-split action, you'd like to have the entry feeder there and then that second player right there. Ball goes in, and then these 2 players interact. They try this, but you see where Caitlin Clark is on the weak side of the floor to spacing and how the distances that she has to run to get herself involved in the offense. It's not great, but the ball does go in. Now, after this, the next part is this. This has to be a screen, and I put some of this on Caitlin Clark. She goes too soon, and she doesn't go tight enough to the screen. But ideally, what you're looking at is trying to get a screen here after the ball's in the post, bringing this player off, give her time to get over here. And what happens is, with a player like Caitlin Clark, a player like Steph Curry, inevitably it causes miscommunications. You'll get a jump out here on the switch from this guard, but you always get this second defender staying there because they're so worried about the switch not being communicated. You end up with 2 on the ball, and that would leave a great opportunity right here for Kelsey Mitchell to pop back for an open 3 or dive down the lane or get something out of it. Instead, they don't get to any of that. They throw it to Caitlin Clark too soon. She's left with one of these, a bunch of these on the night, forced tough contested shots in the paint. Next example. This one's on Caitlin Clark. Give Aaliyah Boston here, a legit post player, time. Get her into the post, and now let's go ahead and let's throw this entry pass. But the angle should be over here, not where Caitlin Clark is. If you were to do that, here's what it leads to. It leads to this post-split action. Go screen for your teammate, bring her off here. When you run that action, you now have an opportunity where 2 end up staying with Caitlin Clark. Instead, she forces a drive, another tough contested shot in the paint. Final one right here. Katie Lou Samuelson, I know she's not one of your better ball handlers, but the ball needs to advance over here to the wing to get that spacing you want. Again, you've got a post player down here. Throw the ball into the post, and then let's go get this action where you run the split with Caitlin Clark bringing her off to the ball. And again, you force things like miscommunications where you get 2 jumping to the ball and you get a wide open shot for one of your best shooters, Samuelson, stepping back. Instead, she picks it up, never goes in the post. All kinds of physical activity on the ball. You force Caitlin Clark into the paint, big hands up, another shot off the front of the rim on a drive. I think there are ways to allow the game to be simpler for Caitlin Clark and open up the game for other people because of the threat that she represents. I didn't see Indiana doing a lot of that last night as a result. Very difficult shooting night for Caitlin Clark.
Look, honestly, that's a very good breakdown right there. And you're right. You know, Caitlin Clark, she has to not slow down. But honestly, I wouldn't say this is on Caitlin Clark. I would say this is on the coach because I guarantee Chrissy Sides is not breaking it down like that. That was a simple breakdown. Simple breakdown. I think what I was going to say is the play where Caitlin kind of took it to the rack, didn't really give time for Aaliyah to set up, which she should have been able to set up, and she was getting into that form right there to seal the defender. So Caitlin Clark, you know, at that instant, I'm talking about slow it down as far as let's start to work down low. Let's establish the down low presence and let Aaliyah start to get some feels, some touches, and start to dominate down there, you know, and really that's going to crash the defense down, and that will open up the 3 ball too. So especially when we're not shooting well, we have to start mixing up the offense. We have to start mixing up the offense. You know, we don't want to be a one-trick pony. I'm not saying that's what Caitlin Clark is. Obviously, she had a lot of attempts going to the rack last night, and that's where she found most of her success. So if she could do that and penetrate, and then now the defense has to crash down on her, oh, that's going to open up so many opportunities for corner pocket threes for Lexi Hall and Kelsey Mitchell. That could be rolling Lexi Hall or Kelsey Mitchell crashing down on a roll or cut to the basket because Caitlin's forcing defenders to crash down on her. I mean, there's so many opportunities. So we just have to mix it up when it comes to the offense. We don't want to be, oh, Caitlin Clark is the only one who's a threat on the offensive side. You know, we got to work everybody on the court. Everybody on the court needs to be able to have an opportunity to have defenders crash down on them. So that's what we're going to be looking for. But honestly, I'm going to be honest, I don't think the coaches break down the offense like that. I don't think they break down the game plan like that. Honestly, because we're not seeing much of a difference in the offense. When they see success, their best success is them playing fast and establishing the down low presence with AB, and that's going to leave Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark most of the time for open shots along with Lexi Hall. So, and then they like to play the high pick action, and a lot of teams are going to study that. I think we need to come with a different game plan. We need to watch film, especially against the Aces. This is a well-coached team. I'm focused on the Aces. I don't want to talk about the playoffs, anything else. I'm worried about the Aces tomorrow night. I think the Fever need to come out with a game plan. I watched Chrissy Sides. There wasn't much of a game plan. Let the bench players do what they got to do on the bench for right now, and let's focus on our game plan, what has been winning this games out of the break. So let's continue. Let's hear what they got to say. But that was a very, very good breakdown right there.
Ace is obviously a formidable opponent here, and they've dominated the season series so far against the Fever. They've won all 3 meetings. The games, they haven't been particularly close. Vegas winning by an average of over 16 points per game. Really, to your point, Tim, holding Caitlin Clark in check. And, oh, by the way, these 2 teams, they meet again on Friday night for the final meeting of the regular season. So, Rebecca, the Fever, they're going to get another crack at the Aces tomorrow night as they try to snap a 14-game losing streak to Vegas. What do you want to see from Clark and Indiana on Friday here?
Well, there are a couple things that are interesting about this matchup. First of all, the Aces are the only team that Indiana has yet to beat this season. And the second part is this is kind of like a playoff feel. They played last night. They have 1 day off in between, and they'll play them again. And so I'm interested just to see what kind of changes and adjustments the coaches will make both on the offensive and defensive ends of the floor. And this is particularly important for Indiana for one reason. This is a team that lacks playoff experience. They have 19 total games of playoff experience on their roster. 0 games of that comes from their starting lineup. So this is a thing with 2 weeks left in the season where they can hone in, treat this like a playoff series, kind of treat it like a must-win game, get the rest and recovery that they need today, make the adjustments on the fly, but certainly a way to prepare a team who doesn't have much playoff experience for this kind of a playoff environment.
And as you know, Rebecca, if the Fever are able to get the win, it'll be their 20th of the season, officially ending their streak of 7 straight losing years. Rebecca Lobo, as always, thank you so much for spending some time with us. We're going to be seeing a whole lot of you here on WNBA.
So look, we're going to stop it there. That stat right there should let you know everything I've been saying about the Aces being a championship team, them being a well-coached team, them being a team that's been together for some years. They're a championship team. They've gone through playoff games. They've gone through championship games. They've gone through everything. They've practiced with each other for 4 or 5 years together. You know, this team is a well-gelled team as well. So you got to understand, the Indiana Fever are trying to get there. They haven't been in the playoffs in 8 years or something like that. And they've only had 19 games of experience. I'm not going to sit there and make excuses. I see no excuses here for the Fever because they have shown me sparks and times that they are one of the best teams in this league. As a young team, they can play with some of the best teams in this league, and I've seen what they could do, and I'm not going to make any excuses for them. But they, you know, the biggest thing is coaching as well. Becky she's a champ. She clearly she clearly outcoached Chrissy Sides on Wednesday. Clearly. I mean, I'm talking about substitution after substitution, guard after guard, physical with Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell, and letting Asia and the girls do what they need to do offensively. I was seeing substitution after substitution from Becky. Rotating. Tiffany Hayes, Jackie Young, Kelsey Plum, Chelsea Gray, Tiffany Hayes. Who else is? Who am I missing? I'm missing somebody else. Kelsey Plum. But I'm talking about just rotations, you know, and they came in, they know what they need to do for their 4 or 5 minutes. Job done. Your scouting report was done. You do this, you do that, you do this, your offense will come. We know where offensive is going to come from. Asia Wilson took 28 shots that night. Everybody else, the bench killed us and did what they have to do. It's a championship team. And yeah, the flopping and all that, that's part of being a championship team. Look at all the NBA players. They all flop. I'm not going to say it should be, but in the championship, in playoffs, you know how slow the games are. Every shot is a flop. So you saw it multiple times. Chelsea Gray did it twice with the Caitlin Clark, and then she did it on the shot where she jumped in and created contact. It got to the line for and one. Those are championship teams. That's what championships do. That's what championship teams do. It's, so we're going to have to start seeing some of that from Caitlin Clark in these girls. I expect greatness tomorrow. I expect a fast-paced game. I expect a dog game. It's not going to be easy for the Fever, but I expect them to come out and punch and fight and to scratch for a win. So that's what I would like to see out of them tomorrow. I want to see dominance down low. I want to see Nalissa Smith be active. I want to see Lexi Hall shooting threes. I want to see her being active on defense. I want to see AB establishing herself down low, getting Asia maybe in some foul trouble. I expect AB to have about 15 points tomorrow. Double-double, why not? Caitlin Clark, over 10 assists. I expect her to break the record tomorrow again. She's breaking records every day. It's like Caitlin Clark breaks a record every day. So that's what I got, man. It's your boy C.O. Kana. I appreciate you guys. I'll catch you guys on the next video. I got plenty of videos actually today. I know I've been, not producing as much content for you guys daily as I was, and I'll get back to that. I've been working on some other things, but I appreciate you guys, man, for all my supporters here, all my subscribers. I couldn't do it without you guys. I appreciate it, good or bad. Just know it's all love on my end, and I'm going to catch you guys on the next video. Welcome to Game Day Network. I'm out of here.